Hello and welcome to another Near Reading cast. As always, my name is Johno, and I'm joined once again by special guest Chris Dyer. Hello, Chris.
Hi, Johno.
And we're here today to watch the third elimination round of the BABW Reading, which is the BABW qualifier, etc. On the left-hand side, we have Chris Martin playing Sol, and on the right-hand side, we have Dan Sargeant, who travelled from wherever he's from, Mumble, the north, to play as Kate. I think he works in London, actually, or maybe I'm making that up. Anyway, so he travelled down for this one, Kate is someone who's kind of died off a little bit. There's not been a lot of Shaper.
Yeah. Shaper has died off purely because they can't deal with the assets that most yellow decks spit out at the moment. They've just got no way of keeping them under control.
Okay. So the starting Sol turn was a sweeps, an arson R&D, and targeted marketing for Magnum Opus.
Yeah,
seems
so
fairly strong.
It does. It suggests that he knows what.
Okay.
It suggests he knows what Dan's deck does. So quite often you might pick something like self-modifying code because all Shaper decks play that.
Yes.
Whereas not every Shaper deck plays Magnum Opus, but he clearly knows that this deck is leaning on Magnum Opus for all its economy, and Dan has no choice but to play it.
That's right. So Dan just kind of bit the bullet and installed it anyway.
Yeah,
I don't think that's the wrong decision either.
So most Shaper decks that have Opus have literally, though, that is all its economy. It has 3 Magnum Opus, ways to tutor it, and that is all.
Yeah.
So if you don't play it, you're never going to have any credits.
And also, that targeted marketing is now blank. You're not going to install a second. So if you can get up some momentum before the next agenda is scored or stolen, then that's not necessarily bad. He's going to install SMC as well. So that turns on Clot.
Yep.
Yeah. So, wow, 20 credits. That's a lot of money. It's actually one more. I think it's one more than he should have done. I think he took 11 from the targeted marketing. What a broken card.
How dare he?
I know, right?
The difficulty here will be that Dan really needs to mash that Opus as hard as he can for a few turns to get his credits to be equal, but he also needs to develop his board state a little bit.
Yeah. Okay, so we've got an install in advance. Do we have a Clot? Oh, no, we don't, because he's got 3 credits. Oh, it's Kate, though, so
he could have clotted
and
that.
he's going to score a breaking news out of hand. Okay, all right. So he's got a breaking news. I haven't missed the astrolabe, which is going to be good for Kate.
Yeah.
Scoring the breaking news out of hand seems fairly important.
If you're scoring breaking news out of hand, it probably means you're on 24/7 combos.
Yes,
because the breaking news is really strong in yellow decks at the moment to trigger various tag punishment. But if you're just getting out of hand, it means that you need it in your score area for something.
Okay, all right. So on the second turn, he's going to create a remote. Dan does have an SMC, so he can pressure this remote. He's not very rich, though.
He can. The danger is that if you think this is a tagging deck, mid-seasons is incredibly strong here because there's no way you can even possibly rival his economy for a few turns. Okay,
so he's on Rabbit Hole. So he's on Link Kate, perhaps, or possibly Nexus Kate, although maybe not. Obviously, many Nexus Kate players have removed the Nexus.
Yeah, Nexusless Nexus Kate.
But he does have the Rabbit Holes, okay.
Yeah,
and he's also going to score a Beal, okay.
This is getting out of hand because now he has 2 agendas, which means 24/7 is already online.
Yeah, so if he has a 24/7 and Boom in his hand, then he will be able to do 7 meat damage next turn.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's almost unlikely that he's drawn it because Chris hasn't drawn that many cards. I don't think he's drawn any cards at all. He has drawn it.
Okay, all right. And he had Traffic Scorch, in fact. Okay, not Boom. Okay. But that was sufficient. There was no I've had worse in hand, and there was no plus create on the table,
Nothing
and that's
do,
it.
Yeah.
Well, so that was just, let's be honest, an incredibly good draw.
Yeah.
I mean, when he set up on his first turn,
so there's barely a card wasted.
That's it.
Every single card he's drawn, he's used. He's iced the remote, he's scored the remote. He has 1 or 2 cards left in hand that he hasn't used. So
yeah.
That's about as good as the draw can get. It is the vulnerability of a shaper like that although their late game economy is crazy efficient, early they just don't have the tempo to get enough credits from Magnum Opus.
Yeah. And there was no hard-hitting news, at least there was none floating around in the game at that point.
I don't think Dan ever ran.
That's it. But if he... so there was a turn when he could have pressured the remote.
So in theory, he going way back, he could have clotted that breaking news because that was obviously a breaking news.
Assuming he had Clot.
He had it in hand when he died, so I don't know if he had it at the time or if it was stuck in hand.
That would have been quite awkward.
Yeah, because otherwise I think you probably do it. You're risky mid-seasons, but
yeah, okay.
The flip side is if you don't do it, that's exactly what happens. He's got a breaking news or 24/7 later on. So I think if it wasn't in hand, he may have clotted it and then risked the mid-seasons.
Yeah, that is awkward if it's in your hand as well, because if it's in your hand, I mean, you could play it, but if you haven't got clone chip, then it's kind of wasted, because if you play Clot, I think the other person probably just purges. So.
And you have to weigh every single click against, is this better than clicking Opus for 2 credits? And almost always the answer is no.
Yeah, okay. All right. Wow, okay, so that, anyway, a very fast game.
Yeah, pretty unfortunate for Dan.
Yeah, there was. So I feel like Chris just had the perfect draw there.
Yeah,
I don't think there's much more to say than that.
These games happen.
So Dan's Kate seems to be, let's say, a longer-term game deck.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
it's building up for a late game, which obviously
It's also
never
built.
came.
It's also built for CTM rather than Sol, which is the difference is subtle, but it is there, and it means it's weaker against Sol because it doesn't have all the same cards that you're specifically taking against.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Okay. So Chris Martin will continue anyway, and in the final, he will play against Ollie McEnteggart. He's going to play as that Sol again. Ollie was on Wizard. So do you think Wizard will fare better against that deck? I mean, draw dependent.
Wizard is a bit quicker and a bit more aggressive, so he's not going to do a huge amount against Sol because presumably Chris doesn't have that many assets. He's also got Newshound in the Sol deck, which is a real pain for Wizard decks to break because they're on
strength 4 as well. Yeah,
a lot of why Sol is good is containing Newshound. So,
interesting.
In theory, Sol's a lot better against Wizard than some other decks, but Wizard's power is so high that it's probably close to an even matchup.
I guess also it'll almost certainly have I've had worse if he's indeed on Traffic.
He will do, yeah. So because he's on Traffic and Scorched, it means that I've had worse potentially will save him, whereas it wouldn't for a theoretical boom. But
yeah. Okay, great. All right. Well, I'm looking forward to that game.
I can't wait.
May it be longer. So I'd like to remind all our viewers they can find all our videos at the website neoreadinggrid.co.uk and on Twitter and Facebook. And you should check out the Dead Channel podcast. It's great. Thank you, Chris.
My pleasure.
Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time.